I was 17 years old. I had one trash bag in my hand, and I was standing outside my own house because the locks had been changed. I tried my key 3 times. It didn't work. Then I looked up, and I saw her, my stepmother, Diane, standing at the upstairs window, looking down at me, smiling. That house was the last thing I had of my dad. He had just died 2 months ago, and she had taken it from me, or at least that's what she believed.
My dad's name was Robert. He was a kind man, a quiet man. He loved coffee in the morning, old books at night, and me more than anything else in the world. He died of a heart attack. I was at school when it happened. One normal Thursday. And then, nothing was normal again. Diane was his wife. They had been married for 4 years. I never truly trusted her. She always looked at me like I was a problem she had to deal with. But Dad loved her. So I tried to be polite. I tried to get along. The funeral was over. And before the flowers had even dried, Diane started changing things. Dad's favorite chair gone. His books boxed up. His photos with me taken off the walls. She called it moving forward. I called it erasing him. When I arrived, she opened the door before I knocked. She pulled me into a hug. And I cried. For the first time since the funeral, I actually cried. Grandma Rose walked me to her kitchen table. The same table where Dad used to help me with homework when I was little. She placed a sealed white envelope in front of me. My name was written on it, in my father's handwriting. My hands were shaking when I opened it. Inside, there were 3 things. The first was a letter. 6 pages. Handwritten. In my dad's voice, warm, careful, and full of love. He wrote that he had noticed something wrong with Diane over the past year. He didn't want to believe it, but he couldn't ignore it. So he did something quietly. Something smart. Without telling anyone except one person he trusted completely. Grandma Rose. The second thing was a copy of his original will. His real will. Written years ago. Signed. Notarized. Legal. And in it, he had placed the family home inside a trust. A trust in my name. He had done this before I was even a teenager. The house belonged to me. It always had. By law, it could not be sold or given to anyone, not even by him. Not by any new will. Not by any paper Diane could ever sign. The house was always mine. Diane's new will was fake. Forged. Worthless. She had changed the locks on a house she could never legally own. And the third item in the envelope? A letter from my dad's lawyer, already signed, already prepared. It said, "If you are reading this through Rose, then my worst fear was right. Take everything to Mr. Hale. He has been waiting for your call." I looked up at Grandma Rose. Her eyes were full of tears. But she was smiling. "Your dad loved you more than you know," she said quietly. He just couldn't show it in front of her. Mr. Hale, my dad's lawyer, moved fast. Within a week, the forged will was examined by a handwriting expert. The signatures didn't match. The witnesses listed on the document didn't exist. Diane had paid someone to forge it, and they had done a terrible job. Because my father had made sure the real documents were impossible to argue with. I wasn't there when the court order arrived at the house. But Grandma Rose told me every detail. Diane opened the door in her silk robe. She was expecting a delivery. 2 police officers stood outside. And Mr. Hale was beside them. She started shouting. She argued. She threatened. But there was nothing left to argue about. Everything she had was built on a lie. She was escorted out of the house that afternoon. With nothing. 3 days later, I drove to the house alone. I stood at the front door. My key, the real one, the original one, worked perfectly. I walked inside. The walls were the wrong color now. The furniture was different. It still smelled a little like her perfume. But underneath all of that, I could still feel my dad. In the window he always left open a little in the morning. In the small marks on the kitchen doorframe, where he used to measure my height every year on my birthday. In the 3rd step on the stairs that always made a creaking sound. He always said he would fix it. He never did. I sat down on the floor of the living room. And I cried. Not from sadness. From something I hadn't felt in a very long time. I was home. And my dad, he had protected me. Every single day. Even after he was gone. If this story moved you, please give it a like. It truly helps this channel more than you know. And I want to hear from you in the comments. Did Sarah's dad do the right thing by making a secret plan? Or should he have told Sarah sooner? Drop your answer below. I read every single comment, and I reply to as many as I can. Also, Do you know someone who has been treated unfairly by a step-parent or family member? Share this video with them. Sometimes people just need to know you are not alone. And the truth always comes out in the end. If you are new here, welcome. Hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss a story. I will see you in the next one. Take care of yourself. Then, 3 weeks after he died, she sat me down at the kitchen table. She slid a paper in front of me. She didn't even look at me when she said it. Your father changed his will last year. The house is mine now. You should start thinking about where you want to go. I was 16. I had just buried my dad. And I had no idea what to do. The next 2 months were the hardest of my life. I walked those halls like a ghost. Diane repainted the walls. She bought new furniture. She had her friends over and laughed loud in the living room. Like Dad had never been there at all. She was never mean in a big way. She never screamed at me. She just made me feel invisible. She talked over me. She forgot to add me to the grocery list. She acted like I was a stranger in the house I grew up in. Then came my 17th birthday. No cake. No card. Not even a happy birthday. I came downstairs that morning. Diane was on her phone, laughing at something. She glanced at me once. Then she walked outside. That night I packed my things. Not because she told me to, but because staying felt like losing. I called Grandma Rose, my dad's mom. She picked up on the first ring. I didn't even say anything. She just said, "Come home, baby. I've been waiting for you."